Long ago, when spirits still danced freely in the wind and the earth's breath could be heard through the rustle of leaves, there lived a people bound by harmony, ancestry, and the rhythm of rain. The village of Aremo was a blessed land nestled between the sacred Olomo Rock and the mighty river Ajinigbi. Its soil was fertile, its women fertile, and its warriors brave. Above all, Aremo was famed for one thing, the Rainmaker's lineage. Rain in Aremo was not a natural event, it was a covenant. It came when it was called, not by science or sacrifice alone, but by the sacred chants and ancestral rites passed down through generations of rainmakers. The last known rainmaker was Baba Ayòwálé, a man said to have been born during a thunderstorm, who spoke to clouds the way a father speaks to a child. But Ayòwálé vanished suddenly, 30 seasons ago, leaving only a whisper of his legacy and a heartbroken village. Now, the land groaned in thirst. The drought was in its third year. Crops had failed, livestock lay dying by the dozens, and the river Ajinigbi, once a roaring presence, had dwindled into a timid stream. Children walked miles to fetch muddy water. The old claimed it was a curse. The young blamed the gods. But the truth was older and darker than any of them knew. Among those who still clung to hope was a woman of 17 years, Adesewa, granddaughter of Ayòwálé. She was light and strong, with skin the color of ripe palm kernels and eyes that seemed to hold the memory of rain. Orphaned by disease, she lived with her mother, Ibarank, a once-renowned midwife who now sold herbs no one could afford. Adesewa's fascination with rain went beyond yearning. She was drawn to storms. As a child, she would dance when the sky wept, humming tunes she didn't know she knew. Her dreams were always wet, a lush forest, overflowing rivers, and a man with lightning in his eyes who called her Omo Aina, child of fire. One fateful evening, during a failed communal ritual to summon rain, Adesewa experienced a vision. As the people danced, beat drums, and slaughtered a goat at the village square, a strange wind swept across the land, and Adesewa collapsed. In her vision, a masked spirit with feathers of peacock and eyes like pools of oil appeared before her. "You seek the rain," it said, but the rain was buried with the truth. "If you dare uncover the betrayal, you must journey through the forest of forgotten oaths. Seek your blood and awaken the staff." When she awoke, the villagers stood around her, murmuring. Some called it madness. But an old hunter named Boba Temitope, who once served her grandfather, pulled her aside and said, "Your dream was not madness. It was a call. The gods have waited." He handed her a bundle, a weathered scroll with ancient chants, a beaded wristband that had belonged to Ayòwálé, and a map marked with symbols. Adesewa returned home and begged her mother to tell her the truth. Ibarank, weary from years of silence, finally told the tale. Her grandfather Ayòwálé had not vanished. He had been betrayed by his own brother, Olalekan, who had once trained under him. Olalekan was impatient and power-hungry. When Ayòwálé refused to teach him the final rites of rainmaking, claiming his heart was impure, Olalekan orchestrated an ambush with the help of rogue Babalawo priests. Ayòwálé was bound and taken into the forbidden grove of Yagba, never to be seen again. Olalekan seized his brother's position and later became the Baal of Aremo. Since then, the rains had become irregular, until they ceased altogether. Adesewa felt the fire of vengeance and the weight of legacy burning inside her. She knew she had to restore her grandfather's honor and reclaim the rain. But the journey was perilous. She needed allies. The first came in the form of Adefolaren, a fearless warrior hunter, son of the late village blacksmith. He had long admired Adesewa's strength and intelligence. When she shared her vision, he pledged to protect her with his life. He had lost a sister to the drought, a girl who died drinking poison water. They also gained a reluctant ally, Yemesi, daughter of the chief priest, who harbored guilt over her father's silence and secretly studied forbidden texts on ancestral magic. Yemesi provided charms, chants, and forbidden histories. Together, they ventured into the grove of Yagba, facing beasts formed from broken promises and spirits twisted by betrayal. Time flowed differently in the grove. Hours felt like days. Night and day blurred. They encountered the Ayòwálé, ancestral gatekeepers who tested their resolve. Adesewa had to undergo the trial of water, confronting her greatest fear, being powerless in a world desperate for salvation. She emerged transformed, glowing with ancestral energy, and in her hand, the Rainmaker staff revealed itself, buried in the heart of an ancient baobab. But the staff was dormant. It required balance, both justice and forgiveness. At the same time, back in the village, Olalekan grew restless. His dreams were haunted by thunder. Chickens bled black blood. The earth beneath his palace cracked. When he learned of Adesewa's journey, he summoned the Agbro Ojiji, the shadow spirit to whom he had once sacrificed truth for power. He demanded its help to stop Adesewa, fearing the return of rain would end his reign. The spirit agreed, but at a price, Olalekan saw. As Adesewa and her allies exited the grove, they were ambushed. Yemisi was gravely wounded. Folktales fought bravely, buying Adesewa time to reach the sacred hill where her grandfather had once performed the rain ritual. There, the final battle unfolded. Olalekan, transformed into a hideous, shadow-red monster, confronted Adesewa. "You are nothing," he hissed. "A girl chasing ghosts." Adesewa raised the staff. "I am the memory of the rain. I am the breath of the earth. I am the Rainmaker reborn." With ancestral chants bursting from her soul, she called down lightning and wind. The sky responded. Thunder cracked. Olalekan was consumed in a blaze of blue fire, his screams echoing into the earth. Rain fell. Not in drops, but in sheets. It cleansed the land. Rivers overflowed. Children danced naked in the mud. The people wept, raising their faces to the heavens. Adesewa fainted, exhausted. She awoke days later, surrounded by those who once doubted her, now singing her name. A new shrine was built, not to fear or tradition, but to renewal. Adesewa did not become Baal. She refused the throne. Instead, she trained a generation of rainmakers, boys and girls alike. Folktales became her protector and companion. Yemisi recovered and opened the first ancestral library. Rain became sacred again, not just water, but memory, sacrifice, and truth. And each year, on the day the first rains return, the village gathers to hear the tale of the girl who entered shadows, woke the sky, and remembered what the world had forgotten. The rain never failed again.